I'd like to thank Stop the War for the invitation to speak tonight. And I'd like to begin by saying on behalf of everyone at Disabled People Against Cuts, a huge thank you to all of you as individuals, campaigns, organisations and trade union branches who since the 18th of March, when that hideous green paper proposing the social security cuts, we've been inundated with messages of solidarity, support, donations to join DPAC. Thank you, seriously, from the bottom of my heart for that. You made us cry. It was just unbelievable. Thank you. I would like to say what an absolutely amazing show of solidarity and unity that we had on the day of the Spring Statement. We had 6 days and we organised 18 actions from Scotland to Wales to the South Coast to London. We worked around the clock, actually. I don't think we got any sleep, and the days have all merged into one at the moment. And we used the hashtag welfare, not warfare, and, trended really high on Twitter. The government have got money for war, they've got money for bombs, they've got money for arms, but they haven't got money for disabled people. And this is a massive stain on the Labour government. And we've got to make sure that MPs, who if they vote for these cuts, we've got to actually pressurise them and say, you vote for these cuts, you're done, you're out. No matter what the colour of your rosette, they're done. When Labour came into power in July last year, disabled people have since faced a two-pronged attack from the government. The catastrophic cuts to disability, social security that disabled people and their families rely on to survive. The other issue, and it's the worrying attempt to rush through Parliament legislation to legalise assisted suicide, which, as I'm sure you've seen on social media, the committee have voted down pretty much every safeguard to make this bill safe. In fact, we've got the Tory MP Kit Malthouse, who's on the committee, says he wants assisted suicide because it will save the NHS money. And he's actually on video saying that. And assisted suicide will seek to replace support that terminally ill people need. That is support of the NHS, hospice care and palliative care. We ask all of you to vote, to go to your MP and tell them to vote Kim Leadbetter's bill down. It's a nasty and dangerous piece of legislation. The government are not listening to disabled people's voices and dismissing our concerns as noise. So in society, the government are telling people that disabled people are an economic burden on society and that we'd be better off dead rather than be disabled. That today, we're having to justify our very existence in every area of society. This fight includes all of us. That without a safety net, we will see further exploitation of workers by the bosses, and that if you fall out of work, there simply will not be the support there to support you, and you will end up destitute. These are attacks on each and every one of us, the working class. It's important to stress here tonight the proposed cuts to disability social security are far bigger than the government announced. That the government have lied when they have said the cuts to PIP are 4.7 billion and impacting on 800,000 disabled people, costing 4,700 a year. It's actually a cut of 9 billion and will impact on 1.5 million disabled people. And the lower figure of households plunged into poverty, when they said it's 250,000 people, that was when they were going to introduce the work capability assessment cuts that are not coming in. The figure of people plunged into poverty is actually 400,000. The cuts to PIP and the abolition of the work capability assessment in 2028 will see disabled people losing between £9,000 to £10,000 a year. And the figures are not known for how many new claimants next year who are found unfit for work will face a cut of 50% in their support. And also the figures are not known of the restriction that if you're under the age of 22, you would not be able to claim any financial support at all. And I need to stress this, the government did not need to do this. There was no economic justification for these cuts. Social security spending is at its lowest in the last 10 years and is not expected to rise in the next 5 years. This is a purely ideological attack, and disabled people will die as a result. You know, Starmer said that he had the balls to be ruthless with disability benefit cuts. But by doing this, he's put a deep stain on the Labour government. But also, this is a message to Starmer. We have the balls to take you on. And on the 26th of March, that was the beginning of the fight back. So join in. Starmer thinks these cuts will make him popular. And, you know, as he did with the winter fuel allowance means testing. But all it's going to do is push people to reform, as it already is. We've got to get out there and educate in our communities that reform are not an alternative to Labour. They're dangerous. But what we need to do is build an alternative that people can get behind, and that is what we need to build. You know, we now send this message that we will resist this government and we will not allow these punitive cuts to go through. And as I've already said, that next week we're going to be out in our communities, in the constituencies, and we'll be saying to all of the MPs, you vote for these cuts, you're finished as an MP, you're done. We need to get them to vote these cuts down. You know, DPAC sends solidarity. Yeah, I've got it. DPAC sends solidarity to all the fights because they're all interconnected. What we need going forwards now is your solidarity. So join us next week when we're in our communities. But I'll also say this. We are not voiceless. We're not inspirational. We're very pissed off disabled people who've had enough. Right? But we've also got a very long and proud history for fighting for social justice, equality and inclusion. We've got decades of doing that, and we will continue to do that. Because while we have no justice, while they're taking our support away, this government will have no peace. Thank you all very much.